God, the reason why I use it is because as an agender person, I don't have a gender. So it's like I'm existing and I'm non-existing at the same time. God, right?
Well, at least we can agree that God doesn't have a gender.
God is me validating my agenderness. Oh, fuck, I ruined this Q-tip. Me validating my agenderness because I don't view myself as a God. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in gods. But I just like the, not feeling, but how it's perceived with me.
I have a question though. Since she's an atheist, meaning she believes that God doesn't exist, does that mean that her pronouns and her gender also don't exist? And if so, can we just stop this bullshit right away? Quick side note before I continue, I just want to mention, because I haven't mentioned this in like a year on this channel, my OnlyFans is now 50% off to the first 150 people that sign up for it. I post tons of sexy content that I cannot post anywhere else, so go and do that now. Link in the description below, and now back to the ridiculousness.
An example of how to use them would be the sentence, Nee went to the market with near friends who love nem.
My pronouns are nah. And when you refer to me, you have to say na 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 na. Hey, goodbye, peace. That's basically what I'm trying to say to these people. Can't stand them.
So another one I wanted to do was Hugh. It's Hugh, Hughes, Hume. And it kind of is short for human, which I really like because I just identify as a human. I don't really have a gender identity right now. But it would sound something like this. Hugh would really like a vanilla cone. I'll get it to Hume. Thank you.
So now we have pronouns that validate someone identifying as a human in it, which is hilarious because it's these same people for years that have been saying nobody's gonna identify as an animal, and yet it's happening. And while I know there's gonna be some people in my comments that are like, Arielle is obsessed with trans people, she talks about trans people all the time in all of her videos and she's not even trans. Hi, here's why I'm obsessed with trans people. It's not actually trans people that I'm obsessed with, I'm obsessed with helping people who think that they are trans but are not, because most of them are lesbians or gay men. And I'm doing my best to save them from potentially making mistakes that they will later regret. And they are regretting them. Listen to this Reddit post. I'm sitting in bed crying because I just miss my breasts so much. I got top surgery when I was 18. I'm 27 now. Even if I get implants, they won't actually be mine. I want mine back. Not only were they mine, but they were great looking. I will never have them back. Never. I never ever thought that this would happen to me. I was always 100,000 million, whatever that says, % sure I made the right decision. But the past couple of years, I've finally realized, and it's so fucking hard to comprehend this and accept it, I'm going through a mourning period right now over my old body. I miss it so much. I look at girls nowadays, any girl at all, and I'm completely jealous. At least they still have their natural body. I feel like I'm an imposter. Like I can't even claim that I'm actually a girl even though I am. My voice is up, I have no boobs, I'm constantly worried about passing as a woman even though I am one. I feel so much regret and it's eating me alive. I actually have a detrans woman here today to tell you a little bit about her struggles. Here's a short little clip of her speaking out about this at a recent press conference.
Over the past decade, there has been as high as a 4,000% increase in children being referred to so-called gender clinics across the United States. I was one of these children. My name is Chloe Cole, and I am an 18-year-old former transgender child. I transitioned from the age of 12 up until 16 when I realized it all was a lie. My story is a cautionary tale.
I asked her to send us a little clip as well because I really appreciate her thoughts on this, and here's what she had to say.
My name is Chloe Cole, and I'm an 18-year-old detransitioner from California. I am female, but from the ages of 12 to 16, I was transitioning from female to a male identity. I went on puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones at 13, and I underwent a double mastectomy, or, as the euphemism goes, top surgery, at just 15 years old. I went cold turkey off of testosterone and detransitioned at 16 years old because I had several epiphanies. I realized that no matter what I do to myself, the reality is that it will never be possible as a woman to become a man. By medically transitioning, I was degrading my mental and physical health and disrupting my body's natural processes and development. Deep down, I truly did want to be a woman and eventually a mother. I had unresolved trauma and psychiatric issues that made me prone to becoming dysphoric. I realized that as a child, I had been unable to make an adult decision, and because of that decision, I'm not going to be able to have the female experience of breastfeeding my future kids. The state of my fertility is completely unknown. Even if I'm able to conceive, no doctor I've reached out to knows if I'm going to be able to safely carry to term. No teenager should be faced with the grief of losing entire sex organs while having their development altered permanently. That is not to say that I don't think anybody should be allowed to transition. I think that if a fully informed and developed adult wishes to pursue transition, then they have every right to. But this is not a choice that children are equipped to make. It's well established that kids don't have the ability to make long-term decisions, so it's impossible for a child to provide informed consent to all the social and medical detriments that transition causes.
The D-Trans Reddit is growing every single day. Take a look at this one. 40,000 people in this group and growing, by the way. I feel nothing but regret. So I transitioned a few years ago, male to female, female to male, like all the way. Hormone surgery, so now I have a vagina and breasts, which I will be surgically removing ASAP. However, about a year ago, I was sad, and it made me realize I am not a woman. I'm a man with the external body of a woman, and any shred I had left of masculinity was stripped away. How the do I continue to live like this? The people in my life who didn't know me pre-transition don't even know how I was a man and think what I'm doing is female to male. That's kind of interesting. How will I explain this to future relationships that I'm a man but don't have male genitals? I'll be a laughing stock and no one will ever want me. Somebody responded to this post and said, as a fellow D-trans post-op, I can say for myself I've taken a leap forward but will never be able to leap backwards. The reason I'm so hell-bent on talking about this is because this is a very real issue in the LGBT community right now. If you look on even like dating apps and stuff, people are misusing terms, they're self-diagnosing, which also is not good. Look at this profile I came across. Okay, radiates good energies, they, them, z, zem, zer, zaddy, baby z, I don't even know what any of that means. Non-binary, polyamorous, soul sexual, like what the hell is soul sexual? Sciliosexual, I feel like I knew what that was, but I don't remember. Asexual, intersectional feminist, I'm not surprised. Psychic being, maybe they saw this coming. Queer artist in every form, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah. Like half of these things don't even make sense. And of course, this person is under the age of 30, which most queer identifying non-binary people are. And we still have tons more videos being created like this every single day.
Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use shark's pronouns. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use flower's pronouns and sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use wolf's pronouns and sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use paint's pronouns and sentences. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use cat's
paint's pronouns. I went to art school. I never saw this coming. I never thought that this would be a thing. And let me be very specific. I don't think, even for a second, that this helps kids understand themselves more. Kids are doing this for one reason and one reason only. They are going through a period of self-exploration, and most of them, and this is the truth, don't want to simply be a cis, straight, white person, because people hate those types of people these days. Well, leftists hate those types of people these days. And remember, neo-pronouns and neo-identities are cool. No.
Today I'm going to be teaching you how to use frog's pronouns and sentences, so let's go! Frog's pronouns, that sounds so cool! Ding ding ding! And that's because it is cool. Because that means that the person that's using these neo-pronouns is staying super curious about frog self and wants to know more about frog self.
After seeing all of these, I never thought that I would say I am happy to see people identifying as humans again. That just came out of my mouth.
Pers, which are neo-pronouns that anyone of any gender can use to affirm and express their identities. Pers pronouns are based off the word person, and they're basically pronounced in the same way.
Pers pronouns. This is the closest we've gotten to normal in 2022. I've mentioned this in a video before, but again, the reason I talk about this so often is because yes, it does affect young people more and more every day in a negative way.
I'm angry. What's gonna happen to the kids and the youth? And there's so many people who regret this. There's more and more and more coming out, and younger too, on puberty blockers, that been on puberty blockers. And I read one that I think he went on puberty blockers at 16, and now he's like 20 or 21, and he is like suicidal because his penis won't grow anymore. Like, it does damage.
This is what happens when you take gender dysphoria, a very serious medical condition, and being trans, and conflate the two and make being trans a fun, lighthearted, I'm just exploring myself and identity, and I have all these new pronouns. This is what happens when you conflate the two things. Look at my pronouns for the day. Being non-binary is cool. Gender is made up.
It makes me so angry. And what we're gonna get is a generation that's screwed up. that are screwed up.
And more people are coming out. Again, in my opinion, the problem here is that this is an extreme overcorrection of a once faulty, partially faulty society and the laws that were governing the society. Do trans people with gender dysphoria exist? Of course. Do they deserve medical care and protection under the law? Yeah, of course. But in that same breath, does taking the gender dysphoria diagnosis out of being trans help anyone? No. Number one, it's created more detransitioners than anyone has ever seen in history. Two, it's created more confusion among youth than any time before regarding gender. And three, it's created more millionaire doctors and pharmaceutical agencies. And these are supposedly people that are supporting socialism, and they're seeing this happen. It's ridiculous. I found this tweet that I really liked. It says, "Yes, I believe in all the lies the trans community told me. The truth is puberty blockers aren't reversible and kids cannot consent to them or surgeries. Going on cross-sex hormones is going to mess up your body. Testosterone ruins your female parts with atrophy." This is one of the saddest stories I've read about this sort of thing in a long time. Just the headline alone is just horrible. Read this headline with me. "I know now that I am not a trans man." And this is a woman who's 26 years old who underwent double mastectomy, which is top surgery, and hormone therapy to become male just after 2 hours of counseling. Tells of her regret as she begins detransitioning back to female. So all it took was 2 hours of therapy for this person to realize that she made a mistake. So clearly there's a big disconnect between mental health and actually having a gender dysphoria diagnosis. Again, I'm not saying trans people aren't real. I'm not saying trans people don't need help. What I'm saying is the number of people who think that they're trans but actually aren't has skyrocketed, specifically over the past 5 years, along with detransitioning people. And most of those people are young teenage women. And most of it's because doctors are afraid of being labeled transphobic. So are therapists. Everyone wants to do just straight up validation. No inner self work. Literally just fast tracking kids onto the trans train. The woman in the article says, "It's been a really difficult journey for me, and I have lost a lot of friends in the process who felt that I am in some way anti-trans," which we know is not true. She just made a mistake. "I saw a community full of so many people who had transitioned and it had finally made them happy." Big red flag there, but we'll get back to that. "And with hindsight, I looked at them and thought that that would be what made me happy too." Boom. That's the answer. This is not what's gonna make you happy if you are not actually experiencing gender dysphoria. I now know that I am not a trans man, but I did not have enough therapy to explore what was really going on with me and help me realize that I don't have to fit into a box of one of society's defined gender norms. Surprise, surprise, this woman is probably just simply a lesbian, which is why I keep talking about this even though I'm not trans, because it's affecting my community more than anybody else. Just in case you didn't already know, here are some of the issues that people might confuse for having gender dysphoria. Trauma, autism, ADHD, OCD, believe it or not, video on that coming soon. Bipolar disorder, multiple personality disorder, body dysmorphia, having an abusive past, and being homosexual. I'm gonna end the video with this tweet because I loved it so much. "Being trans is like being in a cult. They tell you what to say in appointments to make sure you get HRT and surgeries. They tell you they love you and they're your family now, and as soon as you question the ideology, they kick you out and talk bad about you. I am so glad to be free." And we're gonna end the video right there. If you guys are not subscribed to my channel already, please do so right now. And again, go and check out my OnlyFans page, link in the description below, 50% off for the first 150 people that sign up. And thank you so much to Chloe for also being in this video. Her link will also be in the description below in case you want to check out more of her work. Other than that, I'll see you guys back here next Sunday with a brand new video. Until then, I love you, love yourselves, bye.